Well, hi there, folks. This is your host, idjester. Thank you so much for joining me for a new episode of On the Horizon for February 17th, 2014. On the Horizon is a video series I'm creating. Basically, we're going to talk about new and upcoming events in the gaming community. Maybe introduce to you some games you hadn't heard about. Also, reviewing games, talking about anything that's interesting that's happening in the gaming community. For February, we normally think about just a couple things: snow, cold, and of course, the Daytona 500. So, for the first game introduced here for this episode is NASCAR 14. This sucker is right on the horizon here, as it is actually being released tomorrow, February 18th. Of course, they're going to try to get this out just before the Daytona 500 to get all those people that are interested in racing or interested in NASCAR, try to get them interested in this game. It will be released on the PS3, the Xbox 360, and of course the Steam download for you PC lovers such as myself. From what I understand, this is not being released to the PS4 or the Xbox One. You can actually go into the featured section here and read some comments about that. Of course, NASCAR 14 is the new iteration of the racing game based upon the NASCAR series. They're using the 2014, all of the drivers and all of the races that will be incorporated into the racing series. And I'm sure they're going to be using all the rules and everything that has been kind of updated with the NASCAR racing. If you're a NASCAR fan, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Some of the features that they are incorporating here is the NASCAR highlights, and this is kind of one of the features they're really trying to push here. Is this? They're going to be able to recreate some of the biggest racing thrills of the season, where they're actually going to recreate the condition of the cars, the weather, track position, everything identical to what happened, and you're going to be able to make a difference in the outcome of the race. Of course, for any good racing game, there's a career mode where you're going to start off with just your regular car. You're going to work up through the ranks. You're going to try to get sponsors and all the fun stuff that comes with that, from building your guy up. Of course, it's going to, like I mentioned, it's going to use all of the teams and tracks from the 2014 season. There'll be leagues, so you can get into multiple leagues with you and your friends, and it's going to have support statistics, challenges, rankings, and replays. And of course, any good NASCAR game wouldn't be complete without online multiplayer, although they are going to have drop in and drop out server browser functionality. So that should be kind of interesting to see how that all is implemented. As you can see by our screenshots here, they've really done a good job in implementing some really good quality graphics to the game, and introducing some really good action that's going to happen throughout the game, and it's going to be based upon your driving skills and such. If we go into the videos and screenshots section here, some of the interesting things, you can see the video screenshots there. Some of the interesting things here, if you come into this management part of the game here, you're going to actually see each of the different racers, the damage, the vehicles, the condition of the tires. You can even watch them as the race progresses. Also, they're going to have a ticket system here, basically, and talk about all the different drivers and what kind of interesting things that are happening on the track as you actually play. So that will be kind of interesting as well. So if you're a race car fan, a NASCAR fan, this is coming out tomorrow, February 18th. Definitely want to get it for your gaming console or PC. The next game I want to talk about is Men of War 2 Assault Squad. This game, my friends, is kind of an enigma. I love the Men of War series, the previous games of the series. They were really interesting, they were really fun and such. The problem I'm finding with Men of War Assault Squad 2 is they don't seem to be advertising this or promoting it as much as I would have liked to see. I'm not sure why, but it'll be interesting to find out. Basically, this is the whole information that you find out about Men of War Assault Squad 2. It's on Steam. It talks a little bit of information about it. There are 22 screenshots, but there are no videos whatsoever that they have on the website. This is the home website for Men of War. In fact, if you go to the actual Men of War game.com website, you don't notice it's not even like they're advertising all of their games. So you think this game is going to be released February 20th. So in 3 days from now, they would be trying to promote this game as hard as possible, make it, the front page, the load, talk about it, give it as much information as people are interested and everything. And I'm just not seeing that. So it's a little disconcerting. But because I'm such a big Man of War fan, I'm going to go ahead and give you the information. So those of you who haven't played Men of War, previous editions, it's basically a World War II squad-based tactical strategy game. Similar to Company Heroes, but different in that you're usually dealing with much more controlled environment with less units. You're more in charge of different squads. You're going to earn more points as you play, as you progress through the map, by taking certain locations that'll earn you some points to bring in some more squads. You can play this multiplayer, competitively or cooperatively, and it's got a really nice cover system. There's always a lot of action. There's a lot of tactics, where to put your units, how to adjust them, when to move up, what points to try to take. Of course, your different units have different capabilities. It does take into consideration your different vehicles when you fire them, range, distance, where you hit the enemy units. So it's got a really good implementation of that. And of course, the AI is really tough. Me and my friends that played it online had a pretty rough time playing against the AI. It is very aggressive. It kind of knows how to counter it and stuff, and so it's makes it very interesting because you're always on the edge of your seat. You're never sure what's going to happen, and that's one of the fun things about Men of War. So Men of War Assault Squad 2 is coming out here February 20th, another one that's up on the horizon. For a game that was just introduced and is going to be way off the horizon here is a game called Chroma. This was just announced by Harmonix. So those of you who don't know Harmonix, they are the creators of Rock Band, Dance Central, and a few of the other music type games. It is going to be a first person shooter that's infused with music. Obviously, this is the introductory announcement video, so there's not a lot going on in this quite yet. This is not even in alpha yet, so this will be way off the horizon, but I thought it was interesting enough to let people know. From what I understand, they're going to be incorporating a song into a first-person shooter. There's been several attempts at having a game created like this, but if anyone can do it, Harmonix can, because they are the creator of anything musical, and they have really good history of creating high-quality games. So, from what I understand, you're going to be able to... a song is going to start as the match starts, and you're going to be using a first-person shooter, but you have to use kind of the rhythm of the song. You're going to only be able to fire your weapon at certain points of the song. So, like I said, it's not even in alpha yet. You can sign up for the alpha if you go to www.harmonixmusic.com/games/the £, and then Chroma, Chroma. So here's kind of some information about it. Should be interesting once it is released down the line. It's going to have this sci-fi, futuristic, first-person shooter aspect to it. And we'll see if they can pull it together and see how everything plays out. It should be kind of interesting. And like I said, if anyone in the music community can do it, Harmonix is the one. So there it is for February 17th. Like I mentioned, NASCAR 14 was released tomorrow, February 18th. If you're a racing fan, NASCAR fan, you definitely want to look into that. MetaWar series is going to be released, MetaWar Assault Squad 2 in particular, February 20th. So just 3 days from now, if you're interested in some first person, I keep saying first person, I apologize. It is a tactical strategy World War II a la Company Heroes type game. But like I said, much more manageable with less units, no base management whatsoever. And of course, way off in the horizon, a game I just want to introduce to you, Chroma. It's going to be a first-person shooter with some music-driven gameplay. So that's it for February 17th on the horizon. Several games that are right here, and one that'll be off down the horizon, which we'll keep our eye on. So, of course, if you have any thoughts, suggestions, comments, just leave them below, and I'll try to reply back. I appreciate if anybody would leave some interesting information about what they think, what they like, what they don't like about the series, so I can make it better for all of you out there. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time on the horizon.